gonna be interesting because I'm about to get makeup all over this sweater. Hey guys, my name is Courtney and welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be a quick review of the Born to Run palette from Urban Decay. This is the packaging that it comes in. So originally I was not going to pick this palette up, and the reason being is when you look at the palette and the colors, nothing really called to me that I didn't actually have. Part one, that's part one, right? Part two is Urban Decay shadows to me aren't the best on my skin tone sometimes. I used to have a few of the Naked palettes, like the Naked 3, the Naked something, right? And to me, the shadows on my skin tone came off very ashy, very powdery. They never really got the color, got the pigmentation, got the full saturation that I wanted. So I haven't really been a big fan of Urban Decay shadows in general. And with this palette specifically, so much of the colors are colors that I already have in my repertoire, especially all of these warm colors, the peaches and all of that. And I just didn't feel like I was really going to be using the pops of color that they had. I mean, even like, one of the most popular palettes that I can tell you right now that's out is the Makeup Shayla palette from ColourPop. I use that one on a regular basis, and that pretty much has the oranges, the purples, the blues. So I just didn't feel like I really needed this palette until I went into the store, and when I opened it, it was just, I got really inspired by the actual colors. For some reason online, it looks so much more bland and blah, but when I looked at it in person and was swatching it, I got so inspired to do so many looks. By the way, I will have a 3 looks with 1 palette situation coming up. Not sure when. But I got so inspired because there's so many looks that you can do with this palette. Okay, so Urban Decay shadows typically are 100% cruelty free, which means that they don't test on animals. However, a few of these shadows do contain carmine, so this product is not vegan. This palette is $49. You do get 21 shades, which is actually really good. I think for the price of this palette, the amount of shadows you get and the pigmentation, I think the price is well worth it. I counted 6 mattes, 8 shimmer, like shimmer shades, and 7 metallic shades, based on the performance and the swatches. I know online they said their numbering of like what's matte, what's metallic, and all of that was a little bit different. But personally, based on their performance, I counted 6 mattes, 8 shimmers, and 7 metallic shades. For the most part, these shadows are heavily pigmented. There are a few shades in here that are a little bit iffy, which I'll talk about in a second. You have your pops of color, your transition shades, you have your crease colors, you have your colors to sort of deepen. It does have a black in there. It's not necessarily matte. It does have a little bit of sparkle, but it still works well to deepen your crease colors. I think there's a little bit of something in here for everybody, which is great. For a travel palette, I could use a little bit more of a closure type situation. However, it is magnetic now. So the one thing is it does not come with a brush, which to me, I have a ton of brushes. I'm not a huge fan of palettes coming with a brush anyway, just because I typically don't use them. I tend to throw them away or give them to my daughter anyway, so I'm not mad about that. And I do believe that that helps it to be a little bit lower in price. Blaze, Guilt Trip, and Wild Heart, those are a little bit more satiny and lighter than the other colors that are in this palette. So those might need a little bit more finessing to get the pigmentation that you want. Those were the only 3 colors that I kind of had trouble building. So you might want to take your time building those 3 colors, or you can use Fix Plus to get a little bit more oomph out of it, depending on what you're trying to do with it. There are a few colors in here that have, I want to say like small glitter particles in it. This color, Good Is Gone, this deep dark brown color, and this black color right here, they do have little tiny particles of like shimmer in them. However, when you put it on your eye, it's very difficult to see. So if you want to use this, or if you want to use either one of these two colors as like sort of deepening your crease, you can without the worry of it being too glittery. These colors right here really surprised me. They performed so well. The colors actually showed up on my skin tone, the exact same colors that are in the palette, which made me very happy. And that's with or without a primer. The matte colors in this palette are super soft, super blendable. They do have a little bit of kick up. It's not an insane amount. However, I do find that I was blowing a lot. I won't say a lot. What am I trying to say? Jesus, speak it through me. Okay, so I will say that the matte shadows do have a tiny bit of kick up. It's not crazy to the point where I would say that it's like digging into the pan, but I would be mindful. You don't really need a lot. I would say for a lot of your colors, all you really have to do is tap in, and that should be enough depending on what you're trying to do. But again, if you are tapping a little bit more, you will get a good amount of kick up. The colors work really well together. I did not have any problems with anything turning gray, anything not blending into each other. I know in some palettes, sometimes there are colors that may not coincide with each other well enough, so it might turn gray or get muddy. I didn't have a problem with any of the colors in this palette. All of the colors work very well together. They are super soft, super blendable. The shimmers and the metallics are just amazing to me. And the reason why I'm so excited about the shimmers and the metallics in this is because, again, I haven't had a lot of luck with Urban Decay shadows. So for this to be as soft, as buttery, and as pigmented as it is, it's really exciting for me. To me, if you're going to get a warm tone palette, this is the palette to get. It does push about $49, but again, you're getting your money's worth, only because you have so many options. You do have your warm colors, but then you have your metallics, and then you have a little bit of cool tone in there. On days that you just feel like doing a nice, simple eye look, you can literally just throw on Riff as a transition shade and put Stranded all over your eyelid, and then you have a look. If you wanted to do a smoky eye, you can do a smoky eye. If you want, you know, some greens, some blues, you have everything that you need in this palette. I highly recommend this palette. I'm gonna do a few swatches before I get out of here so you guys can see these colors on my skin tone. If you guys have any questions or anything, just let me know in the comments. Let me know if you guys do plan on picking this up. Alright guys, that about does it for me. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe before you leave, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!